To Father Christopher Faydock, our Chancellor, Father Rafael Mary Salcio, our Vice Chancellor, Regent of Studies, and Chair of the College Board of Directors. To the members of the Western Dominican Provincial Council, to Sister Mary Ann Farina, our outgoing president, Father Justin Gable, our incoming president. To the DSBT administration, faculty, staff, members of the College Board of Directors, College of Fellows, and donors. To the members of the Dominican, Salesian, and Capuchin orders. To my provincial. And to our dear family and friends and all who are gathered here today, peace and good, welcome, and thank you for being here to celebrate this commencement with us. And to my fellow graduates, peace and good and congratulations. I'm Brother Nikolas Barth, a Capuchin Franciscan friar of the province of Our Lady of Angels, and a very content member of this graduating class. And since the administration has rolled the dice and given the mic to a Franciscan, we might as well start with the Franciscan quotation. Brace yourselves. I admonish and exhort those brothers that they preach with brevity, because the Lord, when on earth, kept his word brief. I bet you weren't expecting that one. These words are taken from the later rule of St. Francis of Assisi in the chapter on the preachers of our order, and I intend to abide by them today. I actually brought a basket of produce in case you need to throw anything to get me off the stage. It's right here. I have two basic messages to share with you all today. The first is a message of gratitude. Over the past many days, weeks, and months, we students have been working on final papers, preparing for exams, defending our theses, and the like. To prepare for my own exams, I'd actually put up a whiteboard in my room, and I've been using it for days to collect thoughts, to rehearse arguments that I'm trying to make in my responses for exam questions. And it was actually propped up against the wall when I woke up the other day on Wednesday. And immediately when I saw it, an analogy leaped to mind that I think captures some of the experience that I've had here at the DSBT. It dawned on me that a Capuchin at the Dominican School of Philosophy and Theology is a lot like a smudge on a whiteboard. Allow me to draw this analogy out just a little. First, like those smudges, we Capuchins come and we go, but like the white background, the Dominicans always remain. Many a Capuchin has passed through Berkeley because we've been sending our brothers to study here with the Dominicans since the early 1970s. And after today, we'll come down to one last Capuchin student, at least for the time being, our dear brother Austin, who's here with us. To the lay and religious students, to the faculty, staff, and administration, we Capuchins wish to say a wholehearted thank you. 50 years worth of gratitude is what I come here to represent, and I extend that to you all on behalf of all my brothers. Whether you know it because you are our teachers and our close friends, or whether you don't because you thought you were just learning alongside of us and never really got to know us, you have formed us. You have helped and challenged us to grow into our life, and we're called the Order of Friars Minor, that is, lesser brothers, which means it's in our DNA to be fraternal, to foster brotherly relationships with those whom we meet. So thank you all for giving us the opportunity to do that here. And for whatever good we experience in our own ministry as Capuchins, we credit that, at least in part, to you who helped form us. Second part of the analogy. In the hands of a good teacher, with whom the DSBT is replete, many good teachers here, some of us smudges end up at least as intelligible and well-balanced as one of Father Michael Dodd's stick figures. But really, there have been many teachers here who have shaped and challenged all of us to grow as thinkers. And this part of the analogy definitely applies to, I think, all of us students. And so I'd like to take this opportunity to say that we students are grateful to everyone who contributes to our education, but especially to the faculty members, our professors, who are willing to work with us in the classroom, the office, the priory, the local pub, on Zoom and beyond, all this to share their expertise, their wisdom, and experience with us. Graduate school can be a harrowing experience, especially when life's challenges continue to whirl around us in the midst of our studies. They don't stop. But the energy, understanding, and attentiveness that you, our professors, show to us, that you bring to your work and to your classrooms, is a source of genuine inspiration and encouragement for us. And to all of our families and friends, all those who are gathered here to support us, to those who've contributed to our education in any way, I hope you recognize what a precious gift you've given. Thank you all. The third element of the analogy. The contrast between the ink and the whiteboard is crucial. If there were no contrast, there'd be no point in writing at all. That is, the variety of lay and religious students that are part of any given classroom experience here at the Dominican School is a powerful resource that I believe really pushes us to discover and to forge our own unique relationship with the truth. I've experienced this in my own life. The truth of who we are as men and women, who are made to know and to love well, each of whom who has something to contribute to this world, to God's mission of salvation for the world. The goal of our academic programs has not been to churn out products that walk, talk, and think alike. Rather, we've been buried in books, we've been listening to lectures, we've been reading and writing, writing and reading, all so that we may learn to recognize the true and the good, to imbibe it, to assimilate it, to be changed by it, so that we might flourish in our individuality with a genuine creativity that is the freedom of excellence, and so that this flourishing may serve the good of our families, the good of our communities, our society, and ultimately our good God. And if you've got any more fun ways to develop this analogy, please tell me at the reception. I'd love to hear them. But for now, we'll move on to the second message, some words of advice. Now, I want to say right off the bat, this is not actually my advice. I'm merely its messenger. In preparation for this speech, I've been talking with different people about this graduation, about graduate school in general, and just gathering their thoughts. I tried to consult people who are not currently members of the school. These are people we will meet in our future classrooms, jobs, families, parishes, and ministries. These are people who nonetheless will be affected by what we're doing here. So I thought it might be valuable to understand how what we do here looks to them. And I'll share two of those conversations. The first was with a teacher who, having gone through a graduate program in theology, hit the ground running teaching freshmen in high school. When I asked this person to reflect on his time in graduate school, its impact on his life, and how he looks at it now that he's been in the trenches applying what he's learned, he had this to say: develop the desire for truth wherever life takes you, and know that all of this can be done with a sincere joy. And later on in the conversation, he spoke about his students and their responses to him, and he said, it matters how you present what you've learned. People are attracted to joy, to life in abundance. Some of us are heading off to doctoral programs, some to teaching, some to ministry, and some to an undisclosed new adventure. Wherever we may go, may we take from the experience of this teacher and let the fruit of joy be a measure of the quality of our pursuit of the truth. The second person whom I consulted is a 74-year-old mother of 10 who recently decided that she would move permanently to Guatemala. Now, for context, this is a 74-year-old Irish woman whose Spanish is far from fluent and who, to my knowledge, has never lived for an extended period of time outside of the United States. Why in the world would she do that? Her reason? She told me she moved down there because her daughter moved there and married someone. She moved down there to be a steady source of encouragement for them to grow in their faith, she said. Talk about an intrepid soul. She's a woman of deep faith, a prayer warrior, and a dear friend. When I asked her about what she thinks about graduate studies in philosophy and theology, what she would say to all of us here gathered today, she said two things. First, she began preaching hot fire about how God is real, how he loves us, how Jesus is present in the Eucharist, how he's waiting for us there, and how he wishes that we all might know his love. It was amazing. She said it with more conviction than many homilies I've heard, including some of my own. After this, as the conversation went on, though, she said something else that I found so beautiful and insightful. She said, all of your degrees and certificates, all of your studies, all that you're doing at that school is preparing you to become effective presenters of reality. Isn't that good? Presenters of reality. May all of us here, especially my fellow graduates and fellow students, embrace this calling to be genuine presenters of reality, especially to those who have lost sight of it or who are intent on avoiding it. The reality that there is a God and he's calling out to us. The reality that our humanity is a gift to be discovered, not a thing to be constructed or manipulated. The reality that all human life is of inestimable dignity and worth. The reality that we can know the truth, and the truth can set us free. My hope for my peers and for all of us present here is that we may generously give what we have received to those to whom we are sent next. To the graduating class of 2024, my classmates, congratulations once again. I am your brother, and don't forget it. Know of my prayers for all of you as we take this next step on our pilgrimage. And to everyone present here today, may God bless you and give you peace. Thank you.